Namaskar. I am Dr. Sapunti brings you the viewpoint. Today we are diving into every country hit in the 2026 Iran conflict, how and why the attacks happened, what was targeted, and the actual damage and casualties reported so far. At the end of February 2026, the United States and Israel launched a major coordinated military operation against Iran. The campaign hit multiple Iranian cities, including the capital of Tehran and key military and strategic sites such as missile bases, air defenses, government buildings, and nuclear related infrastructure. Iran leadership compounds, including the Supreme Leader's compound, were heavily damaged, and Iranian officials reported hundreds of casualties and widespread damage across multiple provinces. The joint strikes targeted ballistic missile areas, air defenses, and communication infrastructure. Iran's Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei has been killed, along with top military officials, co-associates, and his family members. In retaliation, Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps (IRGC) launched waves of ballistic missiles and armed drones not only at Israel but also at multiple countries across the Middle East, especially where US and elite military forces are present. Before Iran's retaliation, its own cities were seriously damaged by US Israeli strikes. Tehran, Isfahan, Qom, and other cities saw explosions at military facilities, air defenses, and government buildings, including heavy strikes on the Supreme Leader's compound. Most civilian areas avoided total destruction, but widespread infrastructural damage and casualties were reported. The countries that are targeted by Iran are Bahrain. In Bahrain, strikes and casualties have been reported. Iranian missiles and drones struck areas around Bahrain's capital, Manama. The US Fifth Fleet headquarters was hit. A civilian was killed and two others injured when debris fell on a shipyard, and an oil tanker caught fire. Multiple missiles were intercepted. In Kuwait, major military and airport have been damaged. Hundreds of Iranian ballistic missiles and drones were launched towards Kuwait's airspace. Kuwait International Airport and Ali Al Salman Air Base were struck, damaging runways and facilities. Three US jets shot down over Kuwait's skies. Kuwaiti military personnel were wounded. In Qatar, airport and missiles intercepts. Iranian strikes forced closure of Qatari airspace and disrupted flights. Hamad International Airport facilities were damaged by intercepted missiles and debris. At least 16 civilians were injured by falling fragments during air defense engagement. In United Arab Emirates, cities has been hit. Iranian missiles and drones targeted major UAE cities, including Dubai and Abu Dhabi. Intercepts and debris caused damage to infrastructure near Palam, Jumeirah, and Burj Al Arab. Three foreign workers were killed and dozens injured in ongoing defense operations. In Saudi Arabia, oil base has been assaulted. Saudi air defenses shot down drones aimed at key sites, including the Ras Tanura oil refinery. A fire broke out at one of the world's largest refineries, temporarily shutting it down. Infrastructure was damaged despite interceptions. In Iraq, cross-border attacks have been reported. Iranian drones and missiles triggered explosions in Iraqi provinces. Some civilian reports mention death and injuries from strikes in areas such as Babil. In Jordan, air defense activities has been seen. Jordan's air defense engaged Iranian projectiles, causing minimal infrastructure harm, but heightened alerts throughout the kingdom. In Oman, ports and ships has been targeted. Iranian drone strikes near Omani ports. Several crew members on a foreign-flagged oil tanker were injured. In Israel, city and civilians are impacted. Iranian missiles reached Israeli cities, prompting sirens and hard interceptions, reported civilian casualties and infrastructure damage in urban centers. These nations were not physically hit on their national territory, but were affected due to military involvement or flights through their airspaces. These are United States. Several US troops killed and bases targeted by Iranian missiles. In United Kingdom, British forces in Cyprus engaged in defense actions. France military assets in the region involved in defense operations have been hit. Airspace and nearby waters saw missiles drone activities in Cyprus. What is be the economic and global impact of this war? This conflict has also hit global energy markets. Qatar halted 20% of global energy production. Saudi oil output was disrupted. Oil and natural gas prices soared as supply routes through the Strait of Hormuz were affected. This is not just military escalation, it's economic and social disruption. Infrastructure damage, deaths, injuries, and travel disruptions are now felt across multiple countries. What started as a conflict between Tehran, Washington, and Jerusalem has now involved over a dozen nations and shaken global markets. And that's all for now. Thank you.